Reading Rainbow, sort of. Hey, what's up guys, Blood Moon Bobby here, and since today, from the time you're watching and the time this is uploaded, is the International Day of the Girl, and I recently just got the Star Wars Forces of Evil Magic Book of Spells. Of course, it was signed by the book's co-author Amber Benson, the supervising producer of Star Dominic Bisignano, the guy who designed Blood Moon Marco, and of course the amazing Darren F.C., the creator of the show. I got this back at the Gallery Nucleus event. If you've seen my previous video where I went there and I interviewed the three of them, which I swear I'm not just mentioning in this just to get you guys to go watch the video. It's been doing fine enough. But since I got this book, I was wondering, what was I going to do to make a video about it? Because I didn't want to just buy it to show support. I knew that this is a big thing for a lot of Star Wars Forces of Evil fans, and it is. There's actually some really eye-opening information, as you can see here with Glossary, but there's even more that I'll be discussing in this video. So bear with me. I picked out the 10 biggest discoveries I found so far in the Magic Book of Spells. I'm unfortunately not going to have time to read it in full from page 1 to the very end because I'm very, very busy with other videos. And if I were to make a video after I got done reading the entire Magic Book of Spells, it would probably be 5 years from now. So this is really more of a first impressions sort of book. But even as far as first impressions go, I would say there's enough amazing things in this book to make a top 15 list of the most amazing discoveries made in the Magic Book of Spells, but I'm going to keep it to top 10 just to keep it short and sweet, and also just to give you guys a taste. I'm not going to read you guys the whole book. I mean, if I were to read you guys the whole book, then it would just not give you guys a reason to go buy it, and also I think it would only be pleasant if you guys read it very silently, and it would sound like you're doing an ASMR. But don't do that just for the sake of it. Might seem like you wouldn't have to buy the book if somebody just read it to you on YouTube, right? So let's get into this. We'll go for the top 10 in discoveries I made just from skimming through the book so far. Once again, I apologize for not getting through it, but I wanted to make a first impressions video of some kind, because I didn't want to keep you guys waiting, and also, even if you just skim through it, you're bound to find several really amazing things that have either not been tapped into in the show, or things they dive into from what we know in the show, from what we know if you watch Stars. So we'll start off with number 1, and there's going to be major spoilers, okay? You guys might notice that one of the top 10s I'll be talking about is chapter 11. You guys may know in Star's diary she mentions something about her thoughts on Marco, which are totally in this book, and I'll be talking about. So beware of spoilers. If you want to get this book first and then come back and want to hear my thoughts on these 10 discoveries, feel free to do so. But if you're really allergic to spoilers, you may want to stop the video now and go buy the book for yourself. So I'll start off here with number 1. These are not in any particular order. It's just that, and we're just going to go in order of when I discovered them in the book. So number 1 is all about Glossary. And by the way, I apologize if I'm not able to get the entire book. This book is really huge, in terms of size. It was very difficult to get this in my copy machine. When I tried doing it, it was, I couldn't even close the scanner. I just have to leave it open to copy these. So, but I'm just giving you guys a taste of this book. I'm not giving you, this video isn't meant to say, hey, you can watch this video instead of reading the book. I'm not going to be able to get through every detail. I just want to get through the details I think that are very interesting, as Baby would say. So after having restarted a bunch of times, let's start off with number 1, and that is all about Glossary. As you can see, there's Glossary in his fetus form. Is he in his mom's belly, or with the stars? Is he up in space, which sounds even creepier? Just imagine, I'm just And, you know, like you're an astronaut in NASA, you're up in space, and you see this fetus spinning through the sky. Sounds like something out of a David Cronenberg movie. Ugh, it sounds so gross. But yeah, Glossary's birth is really mysterious, and I'll be reading from the book just because I'm not very good at memorizing things word for word. But you know, he says here, I've existed forever, but I was born quite some time after that, long, long ago. Just like yours, my birth was traumatic and brutish, but unlike you, I remember every detail of it. Eesh. And then he says, so yes, at some point after I existed and before my birth, I was called into being by one queen or another to assist with humanity's need for understanding the realm of magic. And so he doesn't even say which queen, as far as I can see. Like, who was the first queen he served under. So, you know, Glossary's birth is a real mystery. So, I mean, just, you know, looking at this image in itself is really creepy, but I guess the fact this is mysterious makes it more creepy and strange, and it's more and more of a gray area. So there you go, the birth of Glossary. And next one up we'll talk about is Skywynne, if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. And I wanted to put her as the first queen I talk about because she's the first one mentioned in the book. Technically, she is not the first queen of Muni. In fact, it says, as you can see right here, now I, Skywynne Lavender Butterfly, am queen, the 27th queen to be exact, and she is called the Queen of Hours. Many of her spells have to deal with manipulating time. There's also some really crazy destructive spells she lists, like there's one about Pandora's Box, which just sucks up everything it sees. There's one about exploding a dimension, literally, and, you know, of course, she talks about her spell on how to freeze time, which, of course, if we've seen Star vs. the Force of Evil, the Father Time episode, of course, Star knows how to reverse that by convincing Father Time, you know, hey, we gotta, you know, get time moving again. We don't want to be stuck in limbo forever. So, yeah, that's, basically it. I mean, honestly, I didn't find Skywynne to be the absolute most interesting of queens, but I wanted her to include her as one of the first on the list since she's the first mentioned. Again, technically not the first ever queen of Muni. Like, she did say that she has a mother, which leads me to another detail. She said that when she became queen, it wasn't because her mom died. It was, you know, because her mom wanted to retire, which I'm kind of wondering, is that at foreshadowing how Star is going to be queen? If you guys watch the Butterfly show regularly, you guys may know we've passed around this theory of will they kill Moon off or will they not? And we're thinking since queens can technically retire, they don't have to die. Maybe it's giving insight that maybe since Eclipsa is technically queen right now, she would say, you know what, Star, you're very capable. Oh, you can be queen. Or, you know, Moon will probably say the same thing. You know, maybe she realizes, hey, Star can do a really good job of protecting Uni. Like, yeah, she may be very happy, crazy, and wild, but she's a very capable person. So that's just kind of my insight on that. So number 3, this is the one everybody was talking about when we discovered the history of the queens, and that is there was actually one male queen, Justin the Uncalculated. He was literally the queen for the day, for one day, until he found out that he was getting a sister, and I believe his sister is Solaria. Yes, it is Solaria, but he became queen because Skywynne had no daughters at the time, so Justin just kind of came in. And as you can see here from this page, Justin kind of talks in that kind of hipster dude kind of way, kind of like Ponyhead. You know, you can see how he talks. He's like, the crew, and he talks about making Uni into a destination. He really likes really cool looking carriages like this one. He's really into bands. He's got some cool friends here, and this is his wand, striped hands, gotta love the stripes, and he even refers to this page as my magic boy Prince wand. So I guess you could say Justin was kind of the hipster before the word hipster was ever invented in the English language. So yeah, I'm kind of, I guess you could say in a way it's kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Underwhelming in that this was the one, ruler, or one of the rulers everyone was most excited to learn about, and was only a ruler for 1 day. So, but there you go, that's Justin. Let's go to number 4. We're going into Solaria, and by the way, I'm not going to be mentioning the other reason I'm not going to say this is my top 10 list in order of greatest discoveries is because I've already talked about some of these in my Gallery Nucleus video. This is going to be the only one that was mentioned in my Gallery Nucleus video, and that is, it turns out that Eclipsa had a strong bond with Solaria. As you can see here, Eclipsa drew this picture. It says, "I love you, Mom." And I'm not gonna lie, when I saw this picture, I thought I got a lot of feels looking at this picture. It's like, oh, Eclipsa. And it makes sense, as Gabby has said in a previous Butterfly show episode. She said that Eclipsa has this really playful, sweet kind of nature, which is weird because we all thought that Eclipsa was going to be the scary character. It's like, oh no, she's the devil, and it turns out she's just happens to use dark magic, and she really likes chocolate, and she fell in love with a monster named Globulus. So yeah, there you go. Might I notice and I'm not trying not to sound like a parent here, but I noticed in Solaria's chapter, she mentions, and sorry it's blurred out, to flip over, or she's talking about a monster invasion, and it says, "Instead of her mother's arms, my daughter found herself in the clutches of an evil monster hell-bent on her destruction," which, hell, ooh boy, that might ruffle some feathers. Just read here that apparently she was trying to, I don't just want to leave it on, oh, they said the word hell-bent, and it says here that Eclipsa was in the clutches of an evil monster, and when the monster got away, Eclipsa was left in tears. But of course, as you've seen the show, Eclipsa would go on to use some really dark magic in the future. So yeah, I mean, I'm no longer thinking that Eclipsa is an evil character. I think she's redeemed herself in my eyes. Redeemed herself. I make it sound like she's Zuko and I'm Fire Lord Ozai from Avatar, but what the hell am I doing? I feel like I'm just proving that I was an idiot. But anyway, let's move on to another part of Solaria's entry. And I wanted to mention this because I noticed somebody was talking about it on Twitter when I was looking on my feed today, and that is, a lot of people think this guy, what's his name, Alphonse, this guy here, looks a lot like the ship captain you may have seen in Blood Moon Ball. Like, you guys remember in Blood Moon Ball when Marco was sitting around eating nachos in his Blood Moon outfit, which, by the way, the star in Marco's Guide to Mastering Every Dimension says that Marco said that his dad is from the Jalisco state in Mexico. So I'm just wondering, because I have a friend who does folklorico dancing, and she likes to dance in this Jalisco dress, and I'm just like, maybe one day we'll see Star Marco dance folklorico. But anyway, back to the ship captain. A lot of people think that Alphonse is the ship captain because he kind of looks like him. As you can see, he kind of looks like a younger version of the ship captain. It's the guy who in Blood Moon Ball said, "The blood moon of lovers," which, by the way, when I heard that line in Blood Moon Ball, like I've said in many of my videos, I had to watch Blood Moon Ball several times to really get into the shipping sort of feeling. But when he said "the moon of lovers," and when Marco was looking at the bell that Star left behind, the bell that brought her to the underworld, I'm just like, oh, he has secret feelings. And as we could see in season 3 in the episode Lava Lake Beach, when he's trying to deny the fact that I'm not in love with Star, he sees Star and Tom kissing, and yep, pretty much confirms his feelings. So yeah, so I'm wondering, maybe Alphonse, I'm just wondering, like, maybe I just have to read more thoroughly in this section, and I'm just wondering who exactly was Alphonse. I remember when I first got into the show, I remember there was a fanfiction writer who said that the ship captain was actually Star's grandfather, and And of course, he fell in love with, forgot the name of the made-up character. She's not mentioned. It was a completely fan-made character, but but yeah, I thought that was just something really funny. Let me actually read this part here. Hecapoo, Justin, and Alphonse the Worthy will use dimensional scissors to secretly leave the castle. I have absolute faith in their abilities, so leaving the castle. I think this is following a monster invasion. Yeah, so it looks like they're basically like trying to help this guy Alphonse to leave. So I don't know, maybe it's just the kind of thing we'll have to find out later in the show. When I was going through the book, I didn't find much more information about Alphonse. I just know that somebody was like, "Oh my God, he looks like the ship captain from Blood Moon Ball," and then there was of course that scene from the episode, I think it was called Sweet Dreams, where Star is going through dimensions in her sleep, and when Eclipsa has to go back to her prison tower, she tells the ship captain portrait, "Oh, Captain, permission to come aboard," and that's how she leaves. So I'm just like, who is this guy? But I guess that's what makes Star great. Like, Darren FC and her team are really good at kind of sneaking these secrets, these, Easter eggs in. So I give her and her team a lot of credit for that. Anyway, moving on. I wanted to talk about this queen, Estrella, which I believe is actually the Spanish word for star, which is interesting considering Star would be born much later. But yeah, it's funny because you might have remember a while back there was this quiz that was on Disney's social media asking people, "Hey, which human queen are you?" And of course everybody was taking it. Strangely enough, most people I knew both on the internet and my close friends I know personally said they got Star. But I got Estrella, which is kind of interesting. Although I guess it kind of makes sense because I guess you could say I'm kind of an artist since I do a lot of photography, I do a lot of videography, occasionally I like to do graphic design. And the thing about Estrella is that she wasn't all into writing, she was much more about drawing. So these are supposedly the drawings she made of Muni. She was also, I guess you could say, she also liked exploring and learning about plant life on Muni. As you can see here, she's pointing them out and pointing out the red Solanaceae, aka tomatoes, and she has all these drawings. She's got one of the Hill of Flags and one of the Magic High Commission that you can see in the book. So I guess you could say in a way I guess the other thing that was kind of head-scratching about Estrella is that Glossary said in the book that she really didn't do all that much when she was queen. She was a very quiet kind of person who just liked to draw, which I guess kind of reflects in me, because if you meet me in real life, I tend to be a really quiet, shy person. But then again, every once in a while, I do like to get up on my soapbox, especially when I really feel passionate about some things. But yeah, it's definitely really interesting. I guess you could say she's kind of like the queen who's supposed to relate to fans of the show that are really shy, quiet, and have a lot of hidden talent. So maybe Estrella's talent wasn't so much being a leader, but she was definitely a very skilled artist. Okay, moving back on to sort of feelsy territory, we have a recipe from Comet, who you guys know is Moon's mother, sadly the one that Toffee killed off prior to the events of the episode Moon the Undaunted. And yeah, there's actually several recipes in here, some that I might even try making with my sister. Like, me and my sister slowly becoming like the cooks in the family, and she always likes getting recipes off places like Sorted Foods YouTube channel. I tend to get my recipes from Jamie Oliver or Gordon Ramsay. I also like researching recipes from Australian chefs like Nico's Kitchen and Todd's Kitchen, Greg's Kitchen, occasionally the Simple Cooking channel. So it's definitely interesting. And of course they gave some really funny names to some of these ingredients. Like here you got pie of the red Solanaceae. Please correct me down in the comments, and please don't be too angry. I'm trying my best. And you got the ingredients here: 1 pound fruit of the red Solanaceae, CA, and every now and then Star and Glossary do interject. So Star, writes down here what the Earth equivalent is. So she's like, on Earth they call these tomatoes. One unflowered sprig of the creeping scent grass is the equivalent of time. One crying dirt pearl, and you're seeing some of them are actually kind of punny. Like, one crying dirt pearl is an onion. 2 tablespoons cold unsalted pig goat fat, which is butter. A quarter cup milled wort corn sand flour. 2 cups plant soup, vegetable stock, or any old broth. So I'm guessing you could also use chicken or beef broth if you want to. And also, get ready for this, brown sand and sea sand, also called salt and pepper. So we're having a bit of fun with the names of these ingredients. Now I'm just wondering if there is a if there's a Munian equivalent of maple leaf. I think that would actually make a really good flag. Just saying. So, but yeah, please feel free to try out these recipes for yourself. I think they wanted the readers to have a little bit of fun with this by saying, hey, here are some human recipes. We're really getting into this world. I'm going to show you this on the webcam, a Munipendence Day pie. I'd really like to see how this turns out, because if you guys can see here, Marco doesn't look too hot after eating it. So definitely interesting recipes. It is really cool that Comet is a chef. I kind of wonder, since you guys might have seen in Star that Star really likes to make treats on her own, like she makes cupcakes and brownies in the show. So I'm wondering, did she get her skills from Comet? Which is kind of touching, actually. Maybe one of these days, now that she's back on Muni, she'll open up a cafe for humans and monsters and call it the Comet Cafe or the Cafe Comet in memory of her grandma. So yeah, I do hope they do address Comet in later episodes. I don't just want her to be like, oh, she died and she was Moon's mother. I remember there was this really touching fan fiction, this fan-made image on DeviantArt where Moon is hugging Star after the battle for Muni, and you see that the ghost of Comet is hugging them both. So yeah, really touching image, really gets you in the feels, but I guess that's what we Star fans are really, really good at. So, okay, moving on to... And this part is really sad. So here we have Moon talking about how she met at little Chauncey or Pig Goat. We may remember seeing her in the episode. What was the name of the episode? It was the one where Star, discovers Toffee's finger and she goes through this weird version of her school. I don't remember. I'll leave the name of the episode in a lower third graphic you'll see here. And she mentions how, and this I think gives good insight. Remember how in Battle for Muni, Moon said that when she was younger, before Comet was killed, she used to be very joyful, just like Star herself. I think it gives good insight, because she goes on about how little Chauncey's really cuddly and loves to eat anything in sight, and it was pretty much the first time, as soon as they saw each other, they became, friends for life, you could say. So, yeah, which is all the more sad because, as Marco said in a Star vs. the Forces of Evil live chat, Little Chauncey would later be killed in battle, and when Star met him in that episode that I forgot the name of, he was all covered up in arrows. So yeah, definitely really moving. I honestly felt like reading parts of Moon's entry. I honestly kind of felt like I was watching a Don Bluth movie like The Land Before Time, where you feel really happy about what's going on, but you know that it's going to end in tragedy, which of course makes the tragedy even harder to take in. So yeah, so Moon's chapter, even just from a first glance, has some of the most feelsy moments in the book so far. Okay, moving on to the really big one. I honestly should have expected this to come in the Magic Book of Spells, and that is Chapter 11, the famous chapter where a lot of people thought, ooh, Star spills her secrets on how she really feels about Marco. But really, this chapter is just kind of her first take on Marco. She says that she's really glad to have him in his life, as I can if I can just get to that chapter. She's talking about here how she really doesn't understand the um the street signs, like, you with the hand signal that shows don't walk, and the little guy next to it that says that you can go walking across the street. She doesn't, like, outright say, which the fanboy in me is just like, she's denying. Like, she says that, she even tells her diary, and I'll read it to you here. I know what you're thinking, you naughty diary, and no, I don't have a crush on Marco. I can have a boyfriend. Not a boyfriend, but a boy who's just a friend. He can even be cute, and it's no big deal. So, I'm wondering, is Star even trying to hide secrets from her own diary? I know some cynics out there are gonna say, see, this is proof that Star doesn't, and like Marco, you stupid shippers. And I'm just like, she's denying it. You know it's really bad when you have to deny things from your own diary, huh? So, yeah. Oh, what was the part I was gonna tell you guys about? It's kind of cute when I don't necessarily understand, so with Marco, and she mentions here, I think it helps him to help me. When we're together, he sees the chaos in the world and sort of embraces it. Which, okay, I guess, even though, Marco was always that person who, if Star was like, had such an idea where she was getting her feet off the ground, Marco was always the one who kept, Star on the ground and said, no, Star, we can't do it like this, so... Okay. And then, it all ends up with the last one, number 10, which here there's a section of the book where you can write down your own spells, which I'm pretty sure a lot of fanfiction authors are going to take advantage of and come up with their own spells. I mean, I sort of have with my fan stories that you could read on my website, bloodmoonbobby.com. But for this page, I kind of wanted to jot down some of my more world-building ideas of Star. As you can see here, I designed a new version of the Starco flag. You guys might remember in my Gallery Nucleus video, I showed you guys this image of a bunch of shipping flags that me and my sister Penny designed, and I gave it to Darren Nefsey as part of a book of art that she and I made together. But I wanted to make a new Starco flag only because I really like the design of the Canadian flag, and I wanted to take some inspiration here. So here, of course, we got the butterfly in the center, we got the symbols of Star on the top, the heart and the star, we got the symbols of Marco on the bottom, the moon and his wand. And this down here, this is the Starco coat of arms, which I designed a while back. It's basically, if you remember my old design of the Starco flag, it's basically just readapting the Starco flag into a coat of arms. So here we got the butterfly flag that we saw in the episode of Game of Flags, and down here is Marco's wand, combining the symbols of Marco and Star all together in one shield. So I'm trying to think of how I'm describing it. I often treat the ships like their own country, and of course, like every country, province, or state, they have their own flags. And the idea of designing these shipping flags, I was looking through, because I watched this YouTuber, this Canadian journalist named JJ McCullough on YouTube. You guys might know him, and he once did a video on Canadian flag designs, and I got really inspired. And since Canada is a constitutional monarchy, still recognizing Queen Elizabeth II, I figured, hey, let's take the flags from a constitutional monarchy and apply them to Muni, and even give them their own coat of arms, which Starco one, admittedly because I'm biased, is the only one where I designed the coat of arms, but me and my sis have designed flags for most of the other ships. Now I feel like I gotta design one for Tom Key, because I guess people ship Tom and Jackie together. So yeah, these are my top 10 discoveries from the Magic Book of Spells. Again, it's really a first impressions video. If I were to go super into detail in these, you probably wouldn't see this video until 2025. I think by then Star might even be off the air. I kind of just want to give you guys something, since everybody's talking about the Magic Book of Spells, and even though I am first and foremost a journalist, I like to have fun every now and then. So again, really first impression stuff, really sort of surface level stuff. Of course, if I get back into fan fiction writing and I need to do a lot of research, because I've had ideas in the past on how to write a story on things like how Star and Tom became a couple and how she moved on from that relationship, and how Moon, when you think about it, had to go through several deaths in her life. You know, like her mom was killed, Chauncey, he was killed in battle, assumingly her dad passed away. So, you know, I have a ton of ideas for fan stories, and if I ever get back in the groove of writing in them again, I mean, I want to, I've just been really busy making these videos for you guys. I'll be sure to look up details in this book, because as much as I like to write fan stories when I can, I still like doing research, and I often treat the fan stories more like movie adaptations, and of course when you do that, you gotta stay true to the original source as much as possible. So if you guys haven't got the Magic Book of Spells yet, please go get it. It's a lot of fun. You don't even need Darren F's signature, to be honest, because there's already some really amazing details. Regardless, if you can get her signature in real life, like even when she does another event again, like let's say you missed out on the Gallery Nucleus, and she just did one in a New York Barnes and Noble, and if you missed out, you know, go get a chance, because it may be cool that I got this autograph, but I know it would be even sweeter if you guys all got the chance to meet Darren FC in person. And she's really nice. She's a really cool person, very laid back person to talk to. Me, Stephen, and Gabby really enjoyed meeting her. Technically, it was my second time meeting her, but what was fun for me was it was the first time Stephen and Gabby got to go meet her. So, and that's all. Please post your thoughts. Let me know if there are any discoveries you made in the Magic Book of Spells. You know, did you think there was something that I forgot to include, or any details that I really need to read into? Please post all your thoughts below. If you have any ideas for Star vs. the Forces of Evil videos, please feel free to leave them in the comments, or you can also email me. My email address is in the description. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all later. Hey guys, thanks for watching this episode of The Butterfly Show. Please subscribe to the Blood Moon Bobby YouTube channel. Remember to hit the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, share it, and follow Blood Moon Bobby on social media to hear the latest about our thoughts on Star vs. the Forces of Evil. See you next time.